Shock after shock after shock. Our predictions are horribly wrong again, and we're going to go through every game and admit our mistakes and find out which teams are really shooting up that Premier League table. Fogdad, where do we begin?
It was a crazy weekend. Let's start with the Fulham derby. It was Chelsea 2, Fulham 0. You said 2-1 to Chelsea. I said 2-0. I got it absolutely right. And there's not a lot of that in this video. So, job done. You know, João Pedro got his goal. Enzo Fernandez got his goal.
Yeah.
But overall, Theo, the talking point was the referee, wasn't it? Some horrendous decisions in Chelsea's favour against Fulham.
If I was a Fulham fan in that way end, I'd be asking for a refund, not from the club, but from the Premier League, because the refereeing decisions were so bad that they had an audit going on the ref.
Yeah.
And they were commenting saying, I just hope Fulham score 2 goals to make up for the mistake, so it's not the story of the game. The problem is Chelsea won 2-0, and it was completely the story of the game. Josh King scored a perfectly good goal. To rule it out for that R9 stamp, he didn't mean to stamp it, he was holding on the ball, he was in possession. And then there was that Chalobah penalty given for, it hits you there. Look, I'm sorry, it's in a natural position for me. I wouldn't have given that, the referee did. And it's 2 times at Stamford Bridge where the referee has given decisions to the home team. And I'm starting to worry about this Premier League. That's how we started. We were both correct. Fulham should have been given a goal at least, and that would have been my predictions correct. So you know what, we started well here.
We did, Theo. Now Chelsea sitting nicely second in the table, but you know, 3 refereeing decisions over 3 hours at Stamford Bridge in their favour. If you're a Chelsea fan, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about Fulham, Theo. Bernd Leno impressed, didn't he? Made, I think, 4 saves, twice he ran out and got the ball away. Good goalkeeper.
I think Fulham have a good team.
Yeah.
Josh King and Rodrigo Muniz understand each other really well. I think Fulham will have a good Premier League. They'll have some matches where they, cause upsets. Marco Silva's kept the team together, make them stronger. And you can see the anger from the players, not just Marco Silva, when those decisions were going against them.
Now, player of the match, Theo, I'm going for Trevor Chalobah of Chelsea. And I'll tell you why. He was absolutely rock solid at the back, kept a clean sheet. 12 out of his 15 duels on the ground in the air were won.
Overall, I'm just going to have to agree with you. Chalobah is going to take it. At the end of the day, Chelsea did get a clean sheet and he earned them that second penalty, so well done.
Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Everton 3. I said it would be a 1-1 draw. You said it would be 2-1 to Wolves. So wrong all round. Now, first of all, let's talk about Wolves. They've lost 3 in a row. They're the only team with 0 points there. Looking miserable for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they had hope after beating West Ham at home in the EFL Cup, and then I didn't expect Strand Larsen not to play. So my prediction was completely wrong. But with it being the last week before the transfers are done, your predictions it's a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on as much as Fabrizio Romano or even the Wolves camp does. But without Strand Larsen, what do you expect from Wolves?
You know, in fairness to Wolves, it was one of those games that could have gone either way. Loads of chances, but 8 shots on target, 5 of them turned into goals. And let's talk about Everton there, because they put the ball in the net more than Wolves did. A key man again. 2 more assists for Jack Grealish. What a signing.
I know, it completely impacts their forward line. It means more opportunities for Iliman and Dye to finish, which he did, and Beto to get on the end of. But not just Grealish, his link up with Kiernan Dewsbury Hall is incredible.
Yeah.
Them two are going to have so much fun in the Premier League. David Moyes is giving them the license to be creative, do what they want. I think, they're both restricted at times at previous clubs for what they could do because of the players around them. Now they can just breathe. And I think Everton are going to have a real lot of fun in their new stadium, which they need to narrow as their home, keep winning games there, but also away, just playing around with such top players. Everton are looking stronger than they ever have in the last few years, and that's why I predicted them wrong. I'm going to change my... Look, Game Week 4 predictions, I promise you now, I'll give Everton more of a chance. People keep roasting me in the comments.
Well, do you know what? Everton move up to 5th with 2 wins in a row, but it's very, very early in the season. But Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Jack Grealish, that link is incredible. And you know what? I'm going to get straight to my man of the match. And it is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Only just 1 goal. By the way, took that superbly. 1 assist, 3 key passes. 2 big chances created. He was so lively, so confident. What a player.
Yeah, I'll give it to Jack Grealish just because he linked up to Dewsbury Hall for 2 of the goals and he was always involved. It was the header in, it was the ball through to KDH. The link up that Everton are showing right now going forward is incredible. So it's not just a one man of the match, it's the whole forward line running the show.
Tottenham Hotspur 0, AFC Bournemouth 1. Where did that come from? I said it'd be 2-1 to the Spurs. You said it'd be 3-1 to the Spurs. And Spurs come back down to earth with a bang.
Exactly.
The story of this game for me, Theo, was not the scoreline. It was the way the scoreline happened. 5 shots from Tottenham, 20 shots from Bournemouth. They absolutely smashed them.
Yeah, it wasn't like a 1-0 strangle the game out. They dominated. It was David Brooks to Semenyo. They were creating so many chances. They were unlucky not to score more. There were glimpses of hope for Tottenham, like when Jed Spence played that ball to Mattis Tell and Tell took that incredible volley at goal. Imagine that hit the roof of the net.
That would have been goal of the season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree. But for Thomas Frank, it's back to the drawing board. They had a great start to the season, and that was a reality check. I think if there's one thing to say for sure, Andoni Iraola is just year on year surprises all Premier League fans with how good his tactics are, understanding his players and making chances happen.
Do you know, one player I will talk about for Spurs, because he needed to be good, was Vicario.
Yeah.
And without him in goal, this was 3 or 4-0, because Bournemouth were incredible.
They were.
And I think it was the surprise factor. Tottenham were like, what is happening at our home ground? Based upon what I've just seen, Bournemouth could really be not just mid-table, but could push for the lower European places. I have probably cursed them with saying that. 7th place, Bournemouth, fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like you have to give a man of the match to Bournemouth here, and there's no questions that the whole team played well. But if you had to narrow it down to one, who would it be, Dad?
Well, a man got 1 assist, 1 key pass, 8 clearances, and won 6 out of his 7 duels. Marcus Senesi of Bournemouth.
If a centre-back is getting you assists and keeping you clean sheets at Tottenham away, he's your man of the match. I agree. The Argentinian, what a game.
Manchester United 3, Burnley 2 in that incredible Lancashire derby. I said it'd be 2-0. You said it'd be 3-0. We didn't get the scoreline
I got the 3 right.
But we got the result right.
Yeah, we thought United would win, but by how many? That was the question. And it was only a 1-goal difference. And actually, that looked like, well, at one stage, Burnley would have come away with a point. They kept fighting back. It was Lyle Foster, Jadon Anthony. Amazing. It's amazing that they do that every game.
You have to say Man United were the better team. They had 26 shots to Burnley's 6. But the way Burnley fought back again and again, and like you said, nearly nicked a point, it went right down to the end, didn't it? It went down to that Bruno penalty in the 97th minute. Bit of controversy there, or was it a pen?
I don't know, Dad. You know, I always say that the top 6 teams get favoured results, and when Amad Diallo got taken down, I've seen the Championship going to Bolton games or League One where the ref will just play on.
Yeah.
And of course, now that there's VAR, you have so many different angles to see something going wrong. It's bound to happen. And the team that's more attacking is more likely to get the decisions. But they did eventually score the opening through Casemiro, own goal for Josh Cullen. He keeps finding a way to get on the score sheet. And Burnley then kicked on with Jadon Anthony, who, by the way, has himself starting in his FPL team.
Yeah.
He's got an FPL team started himself. Fair play to him.
I love that. And I also love the fact that Bruno has been sensational. What is his 6th year at Manchester United?
He always finds a way.
It really matters to him. You saw the way he celebrated, the way he was a bit shithouse with the opposition.
That is the passion and the 3 points that Amorim needs to keep his job.
Man of the match, Theo. I'm going it to a player who I liked at Brentford. I like him at United. 1 goal, 5 key passes, Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah, I have Mbeumo in my FPL, and I was so happy when he got 3 FPL bonus points. But Bruno Fernandes was the one who set up the first goal and actually scored the penalty at the end, which was a crucial moment. So Bruno Fernandes, man of the match. I'm probably going to get bored of saying that by the end of the season. But United, back to winning ways.
Sunderland 2, Brentford 1. What a result. I said it'd be 1-0. You said it'd be 1-0. And in fairness to us, we were really, really close with this one.
Yeah.
And by the way, there was a missed penalty for Brentford. And if you're a Brentford fan or player, you look back and think, how did we let this slip?
You watch the highlights of Stadium of Light and you just know Sunderland are going to win. In all these mid sort of games when they're not playing the hardest clubs in the world, West Ham, Brentford, opportunity is there. West Ham were terrible when they played the 5 back. Brentford with Keith Andrews. Actually, Brentford anywhere away from home, they've never had a good record. And Sunderland are picking up the points that they need to potentially survive in this Premier League table. Yeah. They are doing everything they can. In fact, actually, every promoted team is taking points this week. And that's why we're getting predictions so wrong. We both predicted a draw, which is still favourable for Sunderland, considering this is a team that have solid finishes every year in the Prem, Brentford. They went and smashed it. Wilson Isidore at the end with the winner, but Enzo Lefebvre scoring the penalty and actually sub-assisting the final winner goal as well.
Now, if you're a newly promoted team, wins are like absolute gold dust. And Sunderland have already got 2 wins in 3 games. Now, that is absolutely incredible. Because what they're doing is saying our home ground is a fortress.
Yeah,
and by the way, if you get 2 points every single home game, you will stay up.
When you watch it on Sky Sports, look at the fans. Look how much it means to them. From the first chance that they have where they get close, it's like they have a 12 man on the pitch. So do you know what? We got it wrong again, but we were close.
And the man of the match, I'm giving to a guy who was heavily involved. 73 touches. He got an assist. He had a key pass. Granit Xhaka, you know the name.
Wow, I'm impressed, Dad. That is some research. I'm going to go Enzo Lefebvre. He scored the crucial penalty and he sub-assisted the final goal. Sunderland fans love him. I'm starting to realise why.
Leeds United 0, Newcastle United 0, and I'm falling asleep just reading that out. I said 2-1 to Newcastle. You said 1-0 to Newcastle. the game was an absolute stinker, Theo. I tried to watch it for 2 hours. I think the XG is one of the lowest in the last year or two in the Premier League. Having said all that, Theo, Leeds United 4 points in 2 games.
Important.
They will look back at that and say, you know what, we'll take that.
Yeah, 4 points at Ellen Road is brilliant, and Tuna screaming out for Waltmeier up top. Our predictions were 1 goal, both in favour of the Toon. Maybe if they had that big German, he would have found a way. They tried to register him in time, it wasn't confirmed, but next week is more exciting for Newcastle. Finally, Isaac off the books.
Yeah.
They've got a new man in charge. Let's see if he can score the goals.
Absolutely, £125 million for Isaac. Well, you got for Isaac. That is a record, isn't it?
It is,
British transfer history.
And Anthony Gordon back in the team, so
yes.
they can start playing properly. And for Leeds, well done. You held out a pretty average Newcastle side that's only going to get better, but a point on board is key. And I think Daniel Farke is also lining up for a bit of a fight to survive in the Premier League, and I think they can.
I think they might be close, Theo. I mean, 4 points in 3 games is good.
Yeah.
I look at that team, I think there's not enough there. Newcastle, meanwhile, shocking on and off the pitch so far.
We could both agree this was the most boring game of the week and maybe of the season.
In fact, it was so boring. Let's just move on. I'm going to say Fabian Schär, Theo, 95 touches as a centre-back, kept a clean sheet, always involved. He's my man of the match.
Yeah, well, man of the match when it comes to a 0-0, there's only one player that you can go to, and I think that's one of the centre-backs, isn't it? Lucas Perry made some key saves. I've roasted him a bit, calling him Peroni. I'll own up to it. He's doing decent now. He kept them in it at times, and Leeds, they deserve a little player shout-out. So well done to the keeper.
Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Manchester City 1. I thought it'd be a 2-all draw, so I wasn't a million miles away. You said 2-1, but
get in, I said 2-1.
The other way round, Theo.
Oh.
So, I mean, overall, we watched this game. Manchester City started strongly. Erling Haaland got his goal. But you've got to say they missed chances early on, didn't they?
City were always going to score early. They did it last year. Erling Haaland found a way through. Marmoush was very attacking, dangerous. But yeah, it kind of slipped away from them, and their defensive cracks opened up a bit more, which Brighton made the most of. I thought all game, Minter looked like he could have scored 2 or 3. If it wasn't for James Trafford on several occasions, he would have got his goal. He had that shot where he whiskered over the post as well. Mitoma had an early chance, which Trafford unbelievably saved. I mean, it's actually funny. If it wasn't for a good goalkeeping performance, Brighton would have battered Man City. So Fabian Herzala has got the tactics right. I think they will have a good year. I'd like to see more of Jorginho Rutter playing 90 minutes and Gruder. Gruder scored the winner. Yeah. Imagine he gets 90. Maybe they got that new forward line ready now.
And a key guy in this game was the manager, Theo, making those
Four
substitutions. 4 substitutions in the 60th, 61st minute, including Jamie Milner, who scored from the penalty, and including Gruder, who took his goal well.
And famously on our stream at half-time, I reminded you of what Brighton did at the Amex last year against City. 1-0 down to Haaland in the 23rd minute. Then they go and score 2 goals between the 60th and 70th. They did the exact same thing again. And Dad, you look like a mug. I'm sorry, if you're not tuning into these streams already, what are you doing?
And I think I joked it's not going to be 2-1 this time, but you get things wrong. But Theo, man of the match.
Man of the match, James Trafford. I'm going to give him my man of the match.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is just biased towards your brother, Theo. So let's cut that bit out and go again. Who's your man of the match?
I swear, Dad, he made some key saves. City could have got battered here. James Trafford's my man of the match.
Do you know what, Theo? I'm going to read out the name on my iPad here. He's a guy who made 5 saves. 3 of them were saving goals. James Trafford was the man of the match. Fact, full stop, end of story.
And what's funny is, Man City think bringing in Donnarumma on deadline day will answer their problems. It won't. Because having the best goalkeeper in the world, that wouldn't have changed the outcome of that result today. Brighton still would have beaten Man City.
Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham United 3. I repeat, Forest 0, West Ham United 3. I said it'd be 2-1 to Notts Forest. You said it'd be 3-0.
Get in, I'm so happy.
You said it'd be 3-0.
Give me those 3 points.
Wow, let me just check that.
Add them to the league table now.
Wait a minute.
Why are you double checking it, you mug? Don't double check it.
You said it'd be 3-0 to Forest.
Yeah.
You got it wrong by 6 goals.
The graphics designer got it wrong, Dad. I said 3-0 to West Ham. Bowen Masterclass.
Do you know what the best bit of this game was? Luis Paqueta got the goal and he went over and did that celebration, kissed the badge.
No Aston Villa in sight. Well, I knew that would happen. I knew that would be one of the goals. I predicted it. So great. Okay, fine. I got it wrong. I thought Forest would be solid at home. Now the questions are over Nuno. Marinakis did an interview saying that Nuno's safe. But after that result, I'm not too sure, mate. Because 3-0 to West Ham, who've looked utter rubbish. Well done to Potter. He went and got a trim with HD cuts.
Yes.
And people are saying that's the reason.
Really?
Yeah, he got a HD cuts trim.
Wow.
Even Jack Grealish in the comments saying that's the reason that Potter has got the points around. And by the way, I must add as well, he went back to a 4-back system and it worked.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker-Peters at right back, Juve at left back. West Ham have a new structure and it works.
Yes.
They've gone back to what he did last year. They're picking up points and Callum Wilson might have to start next game.
Do you know what, Theo? He got that late goal, didn't he? So it is the first defeat of the season for Forest, the first win of the season for West Ham. Now, after the last West Ham game, I did actually say, didn't I, Theo? I feel sorry for Paqueta. I feel sorry for Bowen, because they've been playing well, and suddenly it all came together.
It did, and Paqueta, as you said, is staying, so West Ham have hope again. Well, congratulations. Maybe we have to start respecting the Irons a bit more.
And you know what? My man of the match, he got his goal, 2 key passes, 2 big chances created, Jared Bowen.
Yes, Bowen. That snapshot to start it off. The first goal was the most important one, Dad.
Yes.
But Somerville, he got the instant impact off the bench to win that penalty, which was taken by Lucas Paqueta. And even for his celebration alone, I'm giving him my man of the match.
Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. It's a game that we streamed. I thought it'd be 1-1. You thought it'd be 2-2.
Ooh.
It wasn't a classic, but if you're a Liverpool fan who's just seen 3 wins in 3 games, the only 100% record left, you don't care. And by the way, you've seen one of the great Anfield goals, Dominic Szoboszlai.
Something about Liverpool in that last 10 minutes. Every game this season, Onslaught is implementing a system that works.
Yeah.
They scored a winner at Newcastle. They scored a late winner against Arsenal at home. Dominic Szoboszlai. I mean, I was out the room.
Yeah.
When you scream, I don't know, we were either getting robbed or Liverpool scored the winner in style. And it was option B, luckily. Liverpool, you know, overall, I thought Mo Salah was quiet.
Yes.
I thought Florian Wirtz was off it again, but he had that one shot.
I disagree. I thought he was all right.
There's something about players from the Bundesliga, they need a little bit more time. And the fact that they slid in Szoboszlai right back, now I see why Slot does it. Keeping Sob on set pieces was key.
Yeah.
And to fit him in at right back, actually, he did a great job. That was an opportunity for the left winger of Arsenal for 90 minutes to cook Szoboszlai. Doesn't play there every week. And Martinelli offered nothing. In fact, it was on the other side, Noni Madueke was offering more. And that was against Kirkes, who's a regular left back. So I don't understand what is going wrong with Martinelli. Maybe he's scared he's losing his spot to Eze. When Eze came on, he didn't have that connection yet with the team. But that's something to build over future weeks. Arsenal need to answer that problem. They're very unlucky. They didn't have Saka in this game. They needed strong wingers. They missed out on them.
They did, Theo. Now, Arsenal got a lot of criticism after that game for playing anti-football. I completely and utterly disagree.
When you got
I thought their game plan was absolutely right. They stopped Mo Salah from playing football. If you look at him, his highlights, he did nothing in that game. The only difference between the clubs was one free kick, one absolutely worldy from Szoboszlai.
Spot on. Sometimes in a press conference, you cannot sum up a game otherwise than one, moment. Some players have an ability to create a moment. Dominic Szoboszlai, the king of Hungary, he does it again in that moment. And Liverpool are now the only team in the Premier League with 9 points. They're the only team that can say Alexander Isak is their player from deadline day business today. They look favourites to win the Premier League and arguably favourites to win the Champions League. So anything but wins are probably predicted now for Liverpool fans. I'm sorry. They look stacked and they look ready.
They do, Theo. And man of the match is very easy. 81 touches, clean sheet. But you know what? He scored that wonder goal. Dominic Szoboszlai
played out of position, ran the show, and kept Conor Bradley on the bench somehow, which, as a Bolton fan, a little bit gutted about. Well done, Dom, man of the match.
Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 3. Where did that come from? I said 2-1 to the home team. You said 1-0. Neither of us saw Crystal Palace winning this. No,
it was a shock. I mean, I turned off after 1-0. I didn't expect Palace to run all the way. I watched back the highlights and Guehi, what a stunner. I think Villa are looking lacklustre. They're missing something this year. They don't have that same quality in terms of players. They've not properly replaced. You know those moment players like Rashford, like Coutinho over the years.
Yeah.
They don't have that anymore. They've got Watkins and Tielemans, but even they're not seeming to do the job. They both had missed chances in this game. Unai Emery, it gets worse for him if Emi Martinez leaves today on the transfer deadline day to Man United, which is a rival. They are falling away from their dreams, Dad.
They certainly are, Theo. But let's talk about Crystal Palace because they are one of only 3 unbeaten teams in the Premier League, along with Chelsea and Liverpool. Mark Guehi will say it again. That finish was superb. If Messi or Ronaldo did that, that would be repeated 1,000 times.
I know, maybe
that wasn't a finish.
The commentator called it a leaving present, but I think he might stay because Crystal Palace are going from level to level. Even if they sell Eze, it seems like Mateta's turning up. Ismail Assar with that header at the end, where he nearly went into the post and the goalie. He committed for the boys, and Palace, They've got a togetherness, one of the best in the Premier League, and they are shocking everyone. We both backed Villa to win this game, Dan. Can you believe that? Looking back at that game, I should have never backed Villa.
Do you know what? Crystal Palace will be mid-table. I joke about it every year. 12th place is nailed on for them. But Aston Villa, 19th place. Is there any chance that they're going to get sucked into a long-term relegation fight?
They could do, because all the promoted teams are finding points, and that's going to creep up on them. And it's going to be scary later on the season.
That is very, very true there. Man of the match, Mark Guehi. He got the goal. He got his clean sheet. He won 5 out of 6 duels all day long.
Very close to picking Mateta as man of the match. He earned the deadlock breakthrough penalty when he played it through to Daichi Kamada. He went down and Mateta scored the penalty. He got booked for the boom.
I know he did.
He got booked for the boom celebration, which I love. I wait for it on TV. I hear the boom and then the referee. I'm like, what?
You know,
I'm sorry. That
for once, I'm agreeing with the referee. You can't go kicking down the furniture.
That's probably why they do it. You know, they agreed. Now they're going to get them booked, and Mateta now has probably have to think of a new celebration, or maybe not kick the corner flag, or maybe a little touch. Yeah, Mark Guehi though, he's probably going to score 1 goal of that in his career.
Yeah.
We both have to agree on man of the match. 3-0, clean sheet, ran the show. Shout out to Daniel Munoz as well. Unbelievable.
And finally, the most important result of all, Thogdad 4, which by the way is a miserable scoreline, Thogden 2. That is one of our worst performances in the history
I don't like a 2 score.
of doing predictions. And overall, Thogdad 20, Thogden 15.
We'll see you next week for more shocks in the Premier League. Thank you.